I'm living in Cyprus for 5 years now, and I might say it's one of the best countries in Europe, if not the best. Look, I was born in Germany, I'm half Polish, I have an apartment there, I lived in Switzerland for 3 months, I lived in Bali for 6 months, and I visited so many other European countries, but nothing comes close to Cyprus. Cyprus is literally the most eastern country in the EU, and geographically it is actually Asia. So as a relatively small island, there are not many business industries here other than tourism, and so the government needs to come up with another way of attracting money and investors into the country to improve the economy. And this is why one of the biggest advantages that Cyprus offers, especially for entrepreneurs, is its tax benefits. Hey everybody, I'm Ricardo Gorski, the founder of tax.one, where we help individuals and businesses relocate to low-tax jurisdictions. And in this video, I'm discussing why I think that Cyprus might be the best option for you from a tax perspective in Europe. I'm a single man, I don't have kids, no siblings, I'm basically free and I could live anywhere in the world, and I did live in many countries and I travel quite a bit. But I'm always excited to come back to Cyprus, which I call my home. But before we talk about the taxes and tax benefits, let's quickly discuss the personal lifestyle advantages of living here in Cyprus. Okay, so first of all, the nature. I absolutely love the scenery, the landscapes here in Cyprus. We have everything from the beaches to forests to waterfalls and even snow during winter in the mountains. During winter, you can literally go skiing in the morning and then you relax by the sea in the afternoon. In addition to that, there are so many other things and activities you can do here on the island, and sometimes I hear people say that Cyprus is boring, but I totally disagree. I've been living in Cyprus for 5 years now, and my list of things that I want to do and places that I want to visit is still so long, and it seems like it's endless actually. So many secret gems, secret beaches, waterfalls, restaurants, bars, beach bars, you name it. Okay, we are not Ibiza, where we have a huge party every single day of the week, but actually that's a good thing in my eyes. I don't want the big distractions and flashy lifestyle. I actually prefer solitude, and this is also why I live in a village. When I hit a milestone and I want to celebrate a success, I can totally do that here in Cyprus. There are many places where you can do that, especially in Limassol in the city. But other than that, I appreciate that Cyprus remains as this beautiful island with a lot of good energy where you can focus on yourself and on your business. There are so many families that move to Cyprus, people that retire, and so many people that just prefer calmness instead of chaos. Now, very interesting. Because Cyprus is an island, the air quality is so good here. I remember back in Germany, my nose was always stuck, but here in Cyprus, I just feel generally so good. I don't have any allergies, I wake up very early, and I'm just happy and motivated throughout the whole day. And there are so many reasons for that. In a nutshell, Cyprus has 320 sunny days per year. We do have the sea. Cyprus has one of the lowest crime rates in Europe. In 5 years of living here, I have never witnessed a real crime, which shows that the people here in Cyprus are very friendly and the mentality is very positive. Cyprus is very religious. Actually, it's a Christian Orthodox country, but obviously it's multicultural. There are a lot of like-minded people here in Cyprus with a focus on self-improvement and entrepreneurship. There are big companies located in Cyprus, which also means there is a lot of talent here. We have good flight connections to the whole world with 2 airports on each side of the island. Cyprus is bilingual, so literally everyone speaks English here. And we have relatively low living costs if you compare it to Central Europe or Dubai, for example. All of that are benefits and advantages that I just randomly came up with from the top of my head. There are many more, but now let's get to the juicy part, taxes. Well, actually, it's not even that juicy here in Cyprus, because the total tax rate here in Cyprus for entrepreneurs ranges from 2.5% to 15.15%. But let's break it down. The biggest tax in Cyprus is the corporate tax, which ranges from 2.5% to 12.5% on all the profits of a company. And there are some very important notes here. First of all, why does it range from 2.5% to 12.5%? Well, the official corporate tax is 12.5%, but some businesses are eligible for a tax reduction. This scheme is called the IP box regime, and we have a separate video that you can watch right here in order to fully understand it. But in short, it basically means that businesses that generate revenue from intellectual property are eligible for a drastic tax reduction. For all other businesses, it's 12.5%. But this is actually a good thing, because this way Cyprus stays in the accepted realm of the European Commission and other governments. If Cyprus would lower their corporate tax, this would come with a lot of disadvantages. Cyprus would surely get grey-listed and probably blacklisted, which would mean for you as a business owner that you would have a lot of problems in opening bank accounts and a lot of other interferences at semi-governmental and governmental institutions. But this is not the case. Cyprus actually has a very good reputation nowadays. Before incorporating a Cyprus limited company, I was actually a little bit afraid. I was afraid of the bank accounts that I can use, the softwares that I can use, and also even sending invoices to my clients with a Cypriot invoice address. It was a bit spooky to me, but I quickly realized that they don't even care, or maybe don't even realize it. And even if, the easy solution would be to just incorporate a Cyprus holding company, use another operating company from another country to issue invoices, and then funnel the dividends to the Cyprus holding company completely tax-free, which is effectively the same thing as a Cyprus trading company, at least from a tax perspective. Okay, so the corporate tax is covered. What about the other taxes in a Cyprus company? Well, there are no other taxes. Yes, you heard right, there is literally no other tax that occurs on a company level. It is as simple as paying a flat 12.5% corporate tax on all the profits of a company per tax calendar year, and the beautiful thing is that you don't even have to prepay the taxes as you do in many other Central European countries. Whereas in Germany, you have to estimate your profits of the company and prepay a lot of taxes at the beginning of the year. Here in Cyprus, we have the so-called provisional tax system. This means you pay your taxes here in Cyprus in 2 or even 1 installment. The first installment is in the middle of the year until August 31st, where you pay the first 50% of your tax. The other 50% is in the next year when your audit is finalized and you know your exact profits. And you know what's the funniest thing? You don't even have to pay the first installment at all if you don't want to. Yes, obviously this comes with a small penalty, I think like 2%. But if your business is focused on growth and you want to grow as fast as possible and you need liquidity for that, actually a lot of businesses don't even pay the first installment at all, and then they just pay 100% of the corporate tax in the next year. Funny story. I remember about 3 years ago I had a big change in my company structure. 2 of my shareholders left Cyprus and I also changed my accountant. And for whatever reason I forgot to pay one of the installments. And it wasn't until 8 months later when my new accountant told me, "Rico, you forgot to pay your taxes." I obviously immediately paid it. I went online and you pay your taxes online, but still it was so funny because no one even tried to reach me and ask for my payments. Whereas in Germany, if I wouldn't pay my taxes for 8 months, I would literally be escorted to jail. Anyway, let's get back to the topic, and that is the individual taxation. In order to receive the money into your private bank account, we always advise our clients to do it via dividends. Why? Because dividends are completely tax-free here in Cyprus for non-domiciled individuals. However, there is a small healthcare contribution to the National Health Service of 2.65% on all your income. So while it's true that there is 0% dividend tax for non-doms in Cyprus, you actually pay the 2.65%. But for that, you enjoy a high quality healthcare. And also, very interesting is that there is actually a limit to the NHS contribution, which I will go into in a minute. So let's say you relocate from your home country to Cyprus, and what we will do is register you as a non-domiciled individual here in Cyprus, and then you are exempt from all the taxes that occur on dividends, interest, income, capital gains, etc. And this not just applies to your private companies that you own, but to your worldwide assets. Even public companies and shares that you own from, let's say, Apple or Starbucks, companies that pay dividends, 0% on that. Sounds insane, yes I know, but it's 100% legal, and this is what I mean with Cyprus is the best country in Europe. However, very important, I don't know how long the non-dom status or the other tax benefits will last, and so if you are seriously interested in relocating to Cyprus, reach out to us on tax.one as soon as possible before Cyprus makes any changes such as Portugal to their NHR program or the UK to their non-dom status. The good thing is, as long as we register you as a non-dom in Cyprus, you are on the safe side. You will receive a stamped and certified document from the tax authorities in Cyprus that will guarantee your tax benefits for the next 17 years. Everyone that has a non-dom certificate that is still valid for 17 years will have the benefits no matter what happens. But everyone that doesn't have it yet might lose out on probably the best tax opportunity that exists in Europe right now. I'm not saying I have any insider information that this will happen, but sooner or later they will probably at least change something. I'm also not trying to pressure you or anything, I literally just want to give you the facts so that you cannot come back to me later and say that I didn't warn you. And with that in mind, let's discuss something that many people misunderstand. And that is the salary. I purposely didn't mention the salary and social security contributions earlier because I knew it will confuse you. You needed information of the non-dom status first. Because now I can tell you that yes, the income tax in Cyprus is actually quite high. It can go up to 35%, and yes, there's also social insurance contributions, which is another 28%. And with that in mind, you would definitely not think that Cyprus is a low-tax country. But, the salary and the social insurance doesn't matter to us. Why? Well, because we are non-doms. And what did I say earlier? Non-doms receive dividends tax-free. So why would I pay myself a high salary where I pay income tax and social insurance if I can just pay myself a dividend at 0%? Or 2.65. Yeah, there is no reason to do that, and so we always advise our clients to play with the dividends instead of with a high salary. You're the employer and the employee at the same time, and so you can decide the salary that you pay yourself, and we advise to pay the minimum wage, which is 1,000 euros, and so you don't even trigger income tax and you stay at 0% income tax. So let's say I make 100,000 euros profits after corporate tax. I pay myself a dividend and I pay the 2.65%, which would be 2,650 euros. But now listen carefully. As I said earlier, there is a limit or a cap for the NHS contribution, and that is currently 180,000 euros. So let's say I make 180,000 euros in profits after corporate tax, then I pay 4,770 euros in NHS contribution, and the rest is totally taxed. But now, let's say my business is doing very well and I make 1 million. I don't pay 26,500 euros in NHS contribution, I pay 4,770. And this is not per dividend, but it's per tax calendar year. And it's for your whole dividend income. 10 million euros in dividends, 4,770. 100 million in dividends, 4,770. Insane, I know, but this is why in Cyprus your total tax rate ranges from 2.5% to 15.15% depending on your business activity and your total income. 2.5% for those who are fully eligible for the IP box regime and receive such a high dividend where the 4.7k NHS contribution doesn't make a difference at all. And 15.15% for those who pay the standard corporate tax and receive a dividend less than 180k. So the worst case scenario is 15.15% in total tax. This still sounds totally fair to me, especially when you compare it to countries like Germany, Sweden, Denmark, France, or even the US or the UK, where you easily pay 50% in tax of your hard-earned money. And to top the already top, Cyprus actually offers many other tax and business benefits, such as the setup and management costs to run a Cyprus limited company are actually very low. Whereas in Germany, you pay at least 25,000 euros in order to incorporate a GmbH. Here in Cyprus, you pay way less than 5,000 euros for a limited liability company. Next, accounting is very simple and not as strict as in Germany, for example. The bureaucracy in Cyprus is very low. It's not as in Germany, where you receive endless letters, legal warnings and invitations to some weird clubs and communities. Cyprus is very entrepreneurs friendly in general, and you even have the option for citizenship, which is very interesting for non-EU nationals. Actually, since recently Cyprus offers a fast-track program for the European Cyprus passport, and currently it's the fastest passport that you can get in Europe, and we have a separate video that you can watch right here. Other than that, Cyprus offers so many other tax benefits, reductions and even exemptions that I can't mention in this video because it would be way too long. However, we offer one-on-one individual consultation calls, so definitely make sure to reach out to us on tax.one, and also if you subscribe to the channel, I will see you in the next video.